Hello again, everyone. So in the introduction of a function in the last class, we have already discussed about the needs of using a function. We have discussed about the properties of a function. We have discussed about how to define a function. That means what is the syntax that we need to use in order we have to write a function And likewise, we have also discussed about a function call, the link that connect the sub function with the main program. So in today's class, we will continue with this next topic, next concept of a function, which are the types of function. So basically, your Python support three basic types of function here. One is the built-in function. Second one is the function defined in the modules, which are normally most of the external modules. And the third one is the user-defined function. So we'll discuss about each and every one of this one by one. We'll start here with the built-in function. So what I've done is here I have already written the example, okay, so that will be easy for you to relate with. In built-in function, example is the print function that I've used. If you remember, I have already defined that, I've already mentioned that function are those which have a function name followed by the bracket, right? So here function name will be print followed by this bracket. Here the parameter is empty. Likewise, we have the length function. This is also another built-in function. And the third one is the type function. Okay, I missed a bracket here. The type function. So this built-in function, what they do is they are actually the readily available program, or they are the inbuilt function. They are the inbuilt function. That means what happens is when you install your Python software, fine, all this function will come pre-installed or will come along with the Python software. You don't have to install them separately, or you don't need any other file to install in order to use this. So you can easily use this when as and when required in your program. Fine, so that is your built-in function. So most of the function that you have used throughout, fine, in class 11, most of them are included in the built-in function. Next one is the function that is defined in the modules or the external modules. I'll start with the example, and then after that we will discuss again about what exactly is this. One of the example of a function defined in the module is the sqrt function. Sqrt function here is used to find the square root of a number. Okay, I'm sure you must have learned this in class 12. You must have come across this particular function. Now in case of sqrt here, whenever sqrt function is to be used in the program, fine, you cannot use them directly, but what happens is on the top of your program you will have to include the library or the modules that we call, that tells you or that explain you what exactly is this sqrt. So the modules for sqrt here is the math function or the math module, math. Whenever a square root function is used in the program, this modules has to be called, or it has to be imported. That is why the syntax for this, for including this in your program, will be import math. That means we are calling the specific function math, we are calling the math function, so that it can be used in the its sub function. Whatever is included inside it can be used inside your program. For example, inside this math module, this is sort of a library. Fine, where inside library you have all the different books in different section. So likewise here you have a math module. Inside this modules or this library, you have different function that is included in it. Few of the function included here is what I've already mentioned, the sqrt function, and another one is the rand or the random function for finding some random number. You'll be learning about this, or if you have not learned it in class 12. Fine, so these are few of the example. So whenever you need to use the sqrt function, or whenever you need to use the rand function, you cannot just call it in the program, but what happens is you will need to also import its modules at the top of your program or in the heading of your program. You will have to import this, then only you will be able to use it. Otherwise what happens is if you just use this without its modules, you will get an error. So what we have is this function defined here. These are functions that are actually linked to their associated modules. Okay, this function are linked here to these modules or to their header file. So whenever you need to use them, you will have to call the header file here. Fine. So that is regarding the function defined. The third one here is the user defined function. Whatever I've already explained in yesterday class, those are included, those are the few example of a user defined function. User defined function, from its name itself, means these are the functions that are defined specifically for the need of a user. Fine. These are the files that are defined specifically for the need of a user. So each and every user defined function, whenever they have to be used, they will be used by defining the keyword def. So every function name that starts with the keyword def will be categorized as the user defined function. Fine. So your entire syllabus actually in function is based on the user defined function. We will be taking many more examples, and we will discuss about all this. Fine. So in the entire chapter, we will actually discuss only about this type of function. That means your user defined function. Fine. So we'll discuss about this more in details.